Take a look at this image. What do you see? It's clearly an image taken from a neighborhood of a house on a hill surrounded by other houses. Looks familiar, right? And it probably does. You've probably seen it in a house in a neighborhood probably from your childhood that looked exactly like this. It even looks familiar to me. I know I've seen this before. Well, what if I told you that this memory didn't exist? Anemoia is a psychological term described as nostalgia for a time you never knew. It is a certain type of sorrow that you just can't shake, the feeling that you're unhappy with the way society functions today, that you want to go back to how it was during a time when you yourself did not exist. Now, of course, you can't, so your mind creates its own memories for you to reminisce about. A few months ago, I made a video on a YouTuber known as Revive Jr., better known as Bishop. In the video, I referenced the fact that he might possibly have Anemoia due to him using a VHS overlay for his videos and making songs that had an 80s to 90s retro style, although at the time I did not know that there was an actual term for it. The channel is supposed to be nostalgic for those wishing to go back to the past. Though he is not a millennial, he is still nostalgic for these times. What was Bishop going to do with this channel, and what content was he going to post on it? Now, Anemoia can be triggered through several things. It could be triggered through watching a video from that era, listening to a song from that era, or looking at images that were taken from around that age, whether that be a woman wearing clothing from the 1920s or the inside of a mall from the 1980s. Let me give you an example of this, and for this test, I highly recommend headphones, and if you have earbuds, I recommend you put them in both ears for this test. For this test, I'm going to use music to trigger Anemoia. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to play a short bit of Do You Dream About Me, a 1987 song by Alicia. I want you to note how you feel and if you notice anything that you picture in your mind.
In your dreams at night, you tell me there's no other, baby. You tell me I'm the only one. I wish I knew for certain, baby. You say you love me, tell me, honey.
Now I will play a different part of this song just so you can get a better idea of it.
You dream about me, baby, when the night comes, when you close your eyes. Oh, do you dream about me? When you dream of someone, when you close your eyes. Who do you think?
Now I want you to pause the video and I want you to think out loud. Talk to yourself, don't worry, I won't judge you. Now, allow me to plant a memory in your head. It's July of 1987. You're at Videopolis in Disneyland in California. You're dressed in neon pink and green. You blew $15 and 2 cans of hairspray, but you're ready to get onto the dance floor. You walk in and see everyone dancing to Do You Dream About Me by Alicia. You do remember the song being in Mannequin, that year's spring blockbuster, released in February. You start tapping your foot as you see someone come up behind you to your left. It's your girlfriend, Carla. She smiles at you and grabs your hand and leads to the dance floor as you two dance the night away. If you go on YouTube and search for Anemoia, you'll come across several videos with words like familiar or uncomfortable in the titles. These are videos with a compilation of images that are unnerving, however vaguely familiar. Just take a look for yourself for a minute. I've browsed through the web trying to find more information on this, but the only thing I could find on its origin was a YouTube video named Anemoia Nostalgia for a Time Never Known from user Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. It's a good video and I definitely recommend that you go check it out. There's also a post on r/existentialism on Reddit that I'd like to point out. This post was made by user Luckiest and goes as follows. Anemoia. Hello Reddit, I literally made an account just to post about this. Yes, I know, sounds desperate, but I'm so burning to share this. I can't help it. Whatever, it gives me a reason to finally use this site, right? A while back, a post by user Sora for Smash was posted here, talking about how certain pieces of media gave him a sense of existential dread, nostalgia, and depression, but odd comfort all at once. My boyfriend originally showed me this post earlier today, and because Sora's post was archived, I was never able to give an answer to does this feeling have a name. My boyfriend and I go very far back. We're childhood friends and we've been through a lot together, and we're very involved in each other's lives, and have been since we first met. However cheesy it is, we believe we're soulmates. That's not my point here. The point is, we're very connected, and we're more open to each other than we are with anyone else. So naturally, when one of us expressed that we felt the emotion Sora had, that gave us that feeling to experiment to try and label it, find its boundaries, etc. We weren't successful, but found ourselves instead discovering those songs, shows, photos, by chance and pure luck. We've been obsessed and hooked on this specific sensation for years, trying our best to do what we can to label it, and we are both proud to say that we've had some luck. We're both too shy and afraid of backlash to speak about it online, but after reading Sora's post and following the thread, we'd like to propose the name Anemoia. It's originally a very unused old word, with the definition a longing for a time you've never known. This resonated with us absolutely, but didn't quite fit, so we've kind of taken it in like an adopted child of sorts. We've never decided on a set in stone definition, but if we were to, it would be something along the lines of a nostalgic yet depressing, dreamy yet sobering feeling experienced with pieces of all media unique to the viewer. It probably doesn't make sense, but if you go through the post mentioned earlier, you'll get an idea of what we're talking about. I'm making this post here to ask, what do you all think? Are there any pieces of media that make you feel the same way too? Do you have any particular experiences you're willing to talk about revolving around this? Is the name fitting? Sorry if this isn't the right place to post this, but it's the most fitting category I could find. I'd really love to hear what others have to say. Sorry for the chunk of text, I guess I'm just very excited. If anybody is interested, I'm more than willing to share my collection of images and music that give me this feeling. Now, if you try to search Anemoia in a dictionary, it's not there. You won't find it. Trust me, I've tried. Contradictory to the Reddit post is a rather new phrase that was coined by Reddit user Morat11, who replied to a comment left on the post, linking the video I talked about earlier, claiming that he made it. The reply states as follows. I made this video a couple years ago as part of my Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows series. If you're interested, I coined Anemoia from Greek anemos, which means wind, plus nous, which means mind. Anemoia is a psychological corollary to anemosis, which is when a tree is warped by strong air currents until it seems to bend backwards, leaning into the wind. Now, if you want to learn more about Anemoia for yourself, I will leave a few links to some articles and videos in the description for your own explorations. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you later.